Great win for you guys at homecoming. Just what was this year's homecoming experience like for you and your team to be able to perform like you did?
Epic, historic. Crowd was crazy, full house. To see the team get out of fourth gear like we talk about, and it's all three phases, and then to see the guys, the backups, be able to get in there and continue to keep the pressure on and play at a high level. It speaks a lot. I've been doing this for a while, and you look at the team, and you're always trying to say, how are they growing? How are they developing? And not just the starters, but how the backup guys, they're getting out there and take that next level. And I saw that with the film. So, I'm always trying to evaluate the totality of the program, and a game like that, just from the energy in the sidelines, the operations of the sidelines, and just see when the guys are out there to play and to give the effort and the attention to detail that they did. Shows me that they're about the process, which I appreciate.
This week you got a national stage. How excited are you? Last time you were on a national stage, it was our first game in D2.
Yeah.
How excited are you to take this program on the road, and not only to Washington but to a national audience that can see us?
Yeah, it's the competition that really gets you excited. I think you're playing a Central Washington team who's playing outstanding football, coming off an amazing win against North Alabama. I go back to us and say, hey, I'm excited it's college football. With 3 weeks, three games we know about these 3 weeks, we get a chance to get on the road. I always like going on the road with our teams just because it's a lot of fun. But we're in this business for the relationships and the competition, and this week's going to give us more than enough competition, and it's another chance to also spend time with this team, spend time with these players. And so I think the regret I have waking up this morning is that this thing is almost over, that we know about, with only 3 games left. There's so much work goes into one season, knowing that there's seniors in this team that, you've had experiences for 4 or 5 years with them. Now you won't be able to, that your time's coming to an end. So we're going to soak it all up. I'm excited about just that part of it, and the chance to go on the road, the national stage. I always feel like, hey, we're always we're a national brand anyway, so this is where we're at.
And Coach, going up to Washington to be on the national stage, what are some of the things you guys do as a coaching staff just to kind of help balance out the attitude and the mentality of the players and the whole program going up there, to not let the moment get too big and also not let it get too low,
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything we do differently other than just we're going to practice and play hard and just do what we do. I mean, the guys we recruited, they came to play college football on a national level, and I think they already have a mindset for that. If TV distracts you, I mean, maybe you're not ready to be a college football player. It's just who or be on our team for once. It's just because this is how we play, and this is where we're being broadcast every week across the nation, the World Wide Web, so your stuff's always out there. This is just a different type of broadcast, and so we're going to keep our minds and our hearts focused on our opponent, and as we focus on the opponent, it's really coming back even one more step further back to ourselves. Say, hey, let's just do what we do and get better at it. We got some things we got to clean up for Central Washington. As much as I appreciate all 3 phases doing really well, I know all 3 phases can still have room to grow, and that's what we're going to focus on this week.
As you focus on Central Washington, obviously, the beauty of the GNAC is you play everybody twice.
Yeah.
What are you looking to improve on from that first meeting now?
Well, you got to stop the run, and that's kind of mama for them. They're able to run an inside zone scheme that it's just productive, very productive. Get downhill. I think their offensive line is playing the best in all of the GNAC right now, and I know their quarterback is being very efficient now with his legs. He's starting to run quite a bit more, and I think where you have with Central is they got 3 phases. They're going to make you pay attention to all points of the offense. With the RPOs we have going on with the passing game, their tight ends are playing great ball as passing threats, and they're giving multiple formations with them. Defensively, I think hands down they're getting after it. I mean, they're playing lights out here on Fire football, and as a defensive guy, I can appreciate that. But their front 4 is just playing lights out, and so we've got a lot to prepare for in there, and their linebackers. I think cover a lot of ground, and they're able to readjust and just continue to pursue well. So you've got a group in Central that I think they're hitting all 3 phases, and it's they're a top 10 team in the nation. I haven't seen the final rankings for today coming out, but I'm sure they're going to be up even higher. And I think it speaks volumes to the type of football that GNAC has this year. And so we're excited to be a part of that.
Going from a team, playing Simon Fraser and then to Central Washington, how are you guys able to keep the intensity during practices leading up to each weekend?
Yeah, I think it's more the intensity that comes from us. It's always intrinsic. The real intensity, the productive intensity, it's an intrinsic thing. And that goes back to the type of guys we have in our team and the leadership we have in our team. I thought last week's one of our best weeks of preparation. And I think every week as we keep growing, this seems to be the theme with who we have. We're really a team that is young in a lot of spots, and I continue to see them. The big maturity is not necessarily what's on the field on Saturdays, but how they prepare. Now they're understanding, they're getting rhythm. This is how you got to prepare in a competition in-house. One thing I've got to speak to also just our service squads, our service O-line, service D-line, the service across the board, service skill guys. They're giving us a lot of competition, and they're giving us a great look, and that's what's helping us really turn this corner and take that big growth step that we want. Where you would like to have been more mature coming into the season, it's going to, like I said earlier, just don't pass judgment on a half-plucked chicken. We're going to keep this thing going, and I'm all about, hey, this is our best football coming out this week, and then continue the next week, because that's for me is how. I want to govern this and grow this program. Is our guys have got to have that intrinsic motivation to say, you know what, yesterday was good, but I can be better today. You have that, I think, in life, period, and whether you're 65 or you're 18, that's really the key to saying I'm making the most out of this time I do have available to me.
I do have a comment on our Facebook Live. Tyler Langerveld says he'll be there. Go Cougars! But,
that's great.
In relation to the fans who are going to either be there in person or those watching on the national broadcast, there's probably no conference opponent that you've had more exciting finishes. Against, going the last 3 years. You look back 2 years and there was we talked a lot about that 1 yard difference a couple years ago. Even the games at their place last year, you kind of kept the screen pass. Baltazar, and then of course obviously what happened the first time this year. So what makes this game so difficult to win on either side, and what kind of finish do you think people can expect this Saturday?
Well, I have ultimate respect for Central, and I think what makes it a difficult game for both sides is we both know that we're going to play 4 quarters, and we also know that both squads have the ability to be a quick strike team. There's a lot of pride in those two programs, and I think probably why I like this week so much is it's because it's a fun football game, and it brings the best out of everyone. It's great though. This time coming up is just that, the last game we just came off. And, I think if you probably go back to the video after all these times we play Central, you probably see more gray hair on me every time. But it's just a great game. And, like I said, when we shake hands afterward, there's a mutual respect. There's both the losing side is disappointed, obviously, but win or lose, there's a great respect between the two teams. The shaking of hands, the even laughing about some of the moments of the game. So I think they're running a fine program, and I'd love playing against teams like that, and I think our team does too. They appreciate that.
Last thing I've got for you. This last week kind of represented some career achievements for a couple of you guys. Andrew Elford, over 2,000 passing yards. He's the second quarterback in school history to have back-to-back 2,000-yard passing seasons. And Weston Carr already got to 2,000 career receiving yards. It's the fastest in school history.
Yeah.
So, those two have been really the highlight of your offense this year. But what do performances like that represent for the program and for those individuals?
Well, I know there's a lot of historic things that have happened, and so the historic achievements, like the two you're talking about, and even a lot of the scoring that we're doing on offense, and just I think this last game, all the records that came out of it. It shows really just the production and the growth of the program. We will keep coming back today. We've already had a lot of meetings today to say, well, how do we get it better? And these personal accomplishments, like with Andrew and with Weston, it's those guys would say, man, it's just us doing our job. It's just us giving all we got to the team. It's just us trying to help every way possible to win. And where I think that's probably the story that you can't know unless you're inside, where you have two guys with amazing career numbers and stats, but they're the most selfless guys. And that's where you love seeing that great things happen when you start putting the team first. And you see a lot, in college football today's day and age, you see a lot of guys are complaining about their stats. And it's like, you know what, if you would just put down your selfishness, put down the me first attitude, watch how your stats start to show up. And that's, I don't know why it's hard for people to understand. It's like this whole, I got to look out for me. I get that in today's society, but looking out for you is, hey, I'm going to do my job extremely well. I'm going to be really prepared. I'm going to give all I got. And when my time comes, it's going to come. Barking your way into that more playing time or complaining your way into it, it's like, that doesn't do anything good for anybody. So those guys are a highlight of college football, not just here, but across the nation, for who they are as people. And I think I love the fact that it represents our program, because I like to think that this is what we're about, and this is what we're trying to say when we say building champions while pursuing championships. These guys are life champions coming out of it, and they're on a hunt to pursue a championship. But the reality is, they're not doing it for their own selfish gain. They're doing it to help their team be successful. And as soon as we, as leadership, whether on a grand level or even whether a micro level, when leadership says, I'm going to do it to elevate everybody, that's when the real magic becomes. And that's the kind of people we're trying to produce here.
Very good. Thank you,
All right,
Coach.
thank
Good
you.
luck this week.
All right, thank you.